I was saying, the other day I rebuilt the 0-16 Detroit Lions and said that was the hardest rebuild we could do, going through the history. And then everybody was saying, because the 0-16 Cleveland Browns, the year prior, went 1-15. So that is a team that had one win in 2 seasons, including a winless season, a dire roster, and that is why we are starting right here. Ahead of the 2018 NFL Draft, we have the 0-16 Cleveland Browns. And in today's video, we're going to rebuild this team until we can find a way to win a Super Bowl. It's going to take a lot of work. This is an interesting roster. This is a roster that in this in-real-life offseason, they kind of did a fire sale mode. Corey Coleman, who was a first-round draft pick, he got shipped off. We're going to keep him for the time being. We'll figure it out. Danny Shelton was another player that got traded off at this time. Jason McCourty got traded off at this time. But this is a roster that had some talent. This is a roster that was bad and had a lot of high draft picks. Struggled to figure out the quarterback spot. Deshaun Kaiser was never really supposed to be that guy. Josh Gordon, we still have, I'm not going to say it's peak Josh Gordon, but 27 years old. Has the star depth trade. He's 82 overall. These ratings are in line with where the Browns roster would have been when you would load up Madden 18, Madden 19, whatever year it would have been. These are the exact same ratings. We got Joe Thomas, who actually retired in real life this offseason. He did not in this scenario, so we're going to be able to have a franchise left tackle for another season. Batonio and Zeitler at guard are great. We're going to need a right tackle sooner than later. But I think you look at the skill positions, you feel pretty good, though. Like Njoku and maybe Josh Gordon could make a go of it. But we desperately need a quarterback. Defensively, well, we got Myles Garrett, who at the end of his rookie campaign, 90 X factor, which may be still even selling him short. He is and has been, since he's been in the league, one of the most dominant defensive players of this era. We have Larry Ogunjobi, who has a dev trait. We got Kirksey, Schobert, and Jamie Collins at linebacker. Now, Jamie Collins near the end of his prime, but you feel decent about that linebacking core. You got Jabril Peppers, who's almost an 80 overall with a dev trade. His best football is ahead of him. It'd be cool to see if he can pan out and live up to the hype that he had when he left Michigan as one of the most versatile safeties in the nation. But there are still plenty of areas of concern. But I got to be honest, looking at this base roster, how did this team go 0-16? Was it Hugh Jackson? Was it the lack of quarterback play? Probably a combination of both. And we're going to fix it and solve it here in the draft. For this draft, the Cleveland Browns had the 1st and 4th overall pick. Originally, at pick 1, they selected Baker Mayfield. At pick 4, they selected Denzel Ward, the corner out of Ohio State. Ward aged well. Baker Mayfield, maybe they gave up on him a little too early. But ultimately, when you look at some of the other quarterbacks in that class, if we're doing a redraft, I kind of have an idea where the order of the quarterbacks go, at least at pick 1. And I open it up to you guys on my X. Give me a follow at PopXC4. How should we handle this rebuild? Should I redo it with Baker Mayfield as our quarterback of the future? Or should we, enlist all the different options at QB? And to no one's surprise, the overwhelming favorite in this scenario coming off an 0-16 season, the Cleveland Browns, for their next franchise quarterback, do not go Baker Mayfield. They are going to select Josh Allen, quarterback out of Wyoming. They're going to trust the fact that this guy had the measurables. All right, you give the intangibles to Baker Mayfield. The measurables went to Josh Allen. If you want a height, weight, speed, freak of nature quarterback that can throw that football over the mountains and go on and win an MVP down the line. Now, I personally was surprised Lamar Jackson in this poll did not get as much love as I was expecting him. And Josh Allen is not a super overpowered player right out the gate. He's only 17th in true value at number 1. But he's an absolute monster. Even though he can't jump, he's going to be our franchise. And he's going to bring this Browns team to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. Now, I'm not going to say that Saquon Barkley would have been my pick at 4. This is a class where the Browns got Nick Chubb in the 2nd round. I don't know if he'll be there in the 2nd round. I kind of want... That almost honestly makes us, a little bit of... I think he should still be there. I'm going to be honest with you. Looking where else we could go, Calvin Ridley is an option. We want to go on the... I mean, we feel pretty good about our offensive line. You know, Quentin Nelson, Big Q is there. You can live with him, but I feel like that would just make our offensive line way too overpowered. Austin Corbett and Nick Chubb. We have 2 second-round picks as well. We're the second-round picks that year. And you could probably make the argument for sure in Corbett's case. Like, you know, if you could have went O'Neal or Orlando Brown, you probably would go that direction. Looking on the defense, Bradley Chubb could be a beast on the other side of Myles Garrett. But we have Emmanuel Ogbah, who I don't think we necessarily should be quitting on quite so soon. Vita Vea at 4. Roquan Smith at 5. I mean, Denzel Ward's not a bad pick to run that one back. If we're being, I mean, there's a lot of options here that you love. I mean, let's just see what would be. Okay, this is my rebuild. This is how I am saving this team. If I'm looking at my roster now, we have our franchise quarterback. We look at running back. I'm going to gamble that Nick Chubb will be there in the second round with the first pick. Okay? At wide receiver, we could survive without like a Calvin Ridley. Don't necessarily know how much of a game changer. But absolutely right tackle. And the fact that Joe Thomas is on borrowed time, could retire at any moment. Tackle could absolutely be in play. Defensively, Roquan Smith, you know, Jamie Collins is at the ass end of his career. Derwin James at safety would be a huge upgrade. Vita Vea at D tackle, like we have Danny Shelton, but like Danny Shelton's what? 25 years old, 78 overall. Like that's not. But Vita Vea is a whole other animal. But I'm going to be honest. I think our corner room is probably the biggest area of concern, considering the fact that McCourty at 79, he's 31, so he has a ceiling. Be a Calhoun 75, 68, and you know Denzel Ward's going to be a ball. If you're going from a rating standpoint, Denzel Ward's going to be in the same area code as any of these other players. I think that the argument could be made. That corner is our biggest need. And that is what we're going to go get. Denzel Ward, number 4 in true value at pick 4. Now let's hope and pray for those that believe that Nick Chubb will be there in the second round. Oh, God damn it, man. I went pick by pick by pick by pick, and I got optimistic. I was like, which of these teams needs a running back? Nick Chubb goes pick 25. The Vegas Raiders. Some interesting other scenarios. Vita Vea goes to the Jets. Roquan Smith on the Eagles. Lamar Jackson is the quarterback of the New York Giants. Derwin James going to the Giants. So Lamar Jackson, Derwin James. They're probably going to be intertwined. Quarterback DB. We went quarterback DB with Josh Allen, Denzel Ward. Jair Alexander's a Cardinal. Saints go Josh Rosen. Minkah Fitzpatrick on the Detroit Lions. But unfortunately for us, the only history that we were able to redo was Denzel Ward. But I don't think the wrong decision would have been overdrafting Nick Chubb in this scenario. Okay, well, if we want to go running back, might have to have a year of Duke Johnson. I'm being honest with you. Cortland Sutton here at wide receiver. Now that's interesting. Mark Andrews at tight end. We're good at tight end. Offensively, we could still use that tackle. Could live with the Brian O'Neill here at right tackle. Darius Leonard at linebacker. We feel good about our linebackers. Safety, we need a strong safety. Ooh, but Jesse Bates at free safety could probably play a little strong. Or you move your Peppers back there. But safeties just don't make a lot of plays in Sim. Point blank period. You have Fred Warner at linebacker as well. I think the pick here, state of our roster, knowing how I draft, if I was looking, 4A, 6'7", and he was probably the most athletic tackle that year, we're going to select Mike McGlinchey, 47 in true value at 33. No dev trade, no way. All right, we followed up with Justin Reed at safety. Best player available here at the ass end of the second round. Ends up being number 22 in true value at 59, and he rolls a dev trade, unlike Brian O'Neill, who probably should have a dev trade. Third round, treating as if this is not a real class, and I was just looking for who I would draft. It'd probably be MVS, 6'4", 4.3 speed, height, weight, speed. We need to add depth to the wide receiver. 104 true value at 65, and he has a dev trade. Next up, we'll draft a guy that probably played his best football with the Browns and Wyatt Teller. Don't really need a guard, but he's BPA. We have 2 picks here in the 4th round, so why not 57? He has a dev trade as well, and it might give us a little bit of leeway come like Kevin Zeitler's contract extension. Maybe we can go Wyatt Teller, get a little cheaper there. So taking a look at our draft recap, ends up being, hey, 0-16, you need a draft like this. Josh Allen, 76 with the dev trade. Denzel Ward, 79 with the dev trade. Brian O'Neill, even though he disappointingly has no dev, and it's incredibly difficult outside of your lineman winning lineman of the year to go up dev trade. 73, not a brutal starting point for O'Neill. Justin Reed, 75, he'll slide over to strong safety. MVS, 69 with the dev trade. Wyatt Teller, 72 with the dev trade. 69, normal for Duke Dawson. And we finish up with the giant killer himself, Boston Scott, in the 5th round at running back. Go to the rest of the division. Bengals go Sam Darnold and Harold Landry as their big gets. Not bad. Steelers go Tremaine Edmonds. They get Baker. Wow, they just love Mason Rudolph, huh? And for the Ravens, no Lamar Jackson. This year they drafted, what they got? Lamar. They traded up with the Eagles to get Lamar, and then with the original pick, they drafted Hayden Hurst. So they love tight ends, and still tied with the Philadelphia Eagles to get Dallas Goedert, who's a real nice 77 overall. So as we start year 1 of this rebuild to try and fix maybe the worst team in NFL history, this is what we look like. After 1 draft, we add Josh Allen. We get MVS to give us kind of 3 guys at wide receiver. The offensive line got beefed up here with O'Neill and Wyatt Teller as depth. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we got a new lockdown corner 1, a new starting safety. And optimism is that at minimum, this team will do better than what the Browns did in real life. It was a 7-8-1 record. So we got growing pains. 2-5. We're not on pace to do what Baker Mayfield and company did in real life after the 0-16 season. But I feel confident that with the players that we just brought in, cautiously optimistic is going to work. We have $98 million of salary cap. We need to be very conscientious of our salary cap. We have Myles Garrett and Josh Allen on our roster. Throw in Denzel Ward, especially if he starts playing well. That's going to be our, we need from here on out, even though they're on rookie deals and we have 4 or 5 years of all them on that rookie contract, that still needs to be in our mind before we handle some of these contracts. So we're looking at it like Kindred, replaceable. McCourty, too old. Danny Shelton, limited ceiling. Duke Johnson, limited ceiling, especially for those price points. I wouldn't actually hate paying him that, but yeah, he just wants to hit the open market. Knowing in real life he ended up leaving, he's never really had a great career, never really lived up to the expectations, we'll probably just let him walk. So there's good news. And the good news is that at the end of the year, Josh Allen, X Factor, got 11 skill points. So he is thriving. The bad news is we go 6-11, a worse record than what the Browns did in real life with Baker Mayfield, which is, it's a little bit of a, it's a little lame. 4,100 yards, 33 touchdowns, so 21 interceptions for Josh Allen. So, that comes with the territory. Josh Allen was an incredibly raw athlete, quarterback, however you want to break it down, when he's leaving Wyoming. And throwing him to the fire like this, it's expected. But 11 skill points certainly goes a long way that maybe that won't be repeatable. And I think with the way the offense works, maybe we are going to be pretty decently suited, skill position-wise, to we don't have a run game because that's how the offense is going to run through Josh Allen. So maybe we don't prioritize a running back. Maybe it was smart not to prioritize, if things slightly went different in the last draft, to get Saquon Barkley at 4 or to overdraft Nick Chubb. Maybe just having cheap role players at running back will be another way that we can manage the salary cap if this rebuild goes long enough that we have to pay Josh Allen and Myles Garrett. Josh Gordon went out, though. 92 catches, almost 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns. Love seeing that. Corey Coleman, MVS, not bad for a rookie. 78 catches, 800 yards, 6 tutties for a deep threat, and 8 touchdowns and almost 600 yards for David Njoku. Not bad. Defensively, over 100 tackles for both Kirksey and Schobert. Ugh. You combine both those numbers, not brutal, but you definitely expect a lot more out of Myles Garrett, and I'm going to be a little worried that he might lose that X factor with a little bit of a disappointing season. The only award winner this year is Josh Gordon, winning wide receiver of the year. That's kind of cool to see, but when you have a first round, when you have 2 top 5 picks, I'd like to think that I could, hit home runs there in the eyes of this game, and Nick Chubb actually finishes MVS finishes higher than the interceptions. Interceptions absolutely kill you in award voting. So, I mean, that, it checks out. We still got, 2 made it there on the defensive side of the ball. Justin Reed at 6. Denzel Ward at 7. I do think, though, the one, if I was going a different direction, as opposed Denzel Ward at 4, it would have been Vita Vea. That would have been fun. Vita Vea and Myles Garrett. But we had to go corner. Our corner room was so bad. Kind of a weird Super Bowl. Cool. At least it's not the Chiefs, Cowboys, Eagles, Packers, Ravens. Unless he surprisingly retires in stage 2, which we've seen in our last couple of rebuilds. It can't happen, but Joe Thomas going 2 years beyond when he retired in real life. He's an Iron Man. Well, if you want to know the state of free agency, it's all punters and the highest rated players of fullback, so we're going to sit this one out. Take a look at the final mock draft for the 2019 NFL Draft. This was a draft class where we got the number 8 selection, and we were projected to get Devin Bush. Are we going to go Devin Bush? Absolutely not. Are we probably going to go Quinnen Williams if he is still on the board at 9? Absolutely will. Hollywood Brown, interesting. Brian Burns, Sexy Dex. There are D tackles on D tackles on D tackles in this class. So I think we sell out. We just let Danny Shelton walk. So it was a great year not to pay him. I guess the question, it got to be Quinnen Williams if he's still there. But you can't always trust these mock drafts. They've lied to me, and I feel like they've upped the rate of how much they lie to you. Look at that again. It did not lie to me. And, well, some of the players went, like Brian Burns supposed to be available. He's off the board. But at pick number 8, come on down. Quinnen Williams, you are a Cleveland Brown. Number 1 player in the class, obviously. At number 8, he was regarded as a top player in that class anyways. Good luck stopping that in Myles Garrett. So all in all, trying to look back at repeating history, 2019 was not a favorable year. I mean, honestly, I'm looking at the last couple. 2020 and 2019 were not great drafts for the Cleveland Browns. In 2019, they didn't have a first-round pick. They got Greedy Williams, Sione Taki, Mac Wilson. There's an argument made Austin Seibert at kicker. It's the best of the bunch there. So absolutely going to not follow the board that the Browns followed in real life. David Montgomery could be a fun running back option. I'm going to be honest with you. Definitely don't want to run that one back. There are some studs at wide receiver. Would I draft DK Metcalf in this? I think that's almost the fairest way to run this. It's not breaking house rule. He's within, we said you got to be within 32 picks for the old 20-year rebuilds that we've been doing. That's kind of the one house rule to prevent us from just cheesing and taking the best players. And I always think the argument should be, in situations like this, we're such a bad team, we need everything. If these players weren't real players, these are all Madden generated players, who would I draft in a regular rebuild? And I think it's very fair. We got Max Crosby there. I think it's very fair in this instance, given the fact that we absolutely still need a wide receiver. We do not have a bona fide long-term wide receiver 1. We have Josh Gordon, who got wide receiver of the year, but he's 28 years old, near the end of his prime. If you told me that there was an anonymous man that was 6'3", 230 and ran a 4.3, I'd pick him every day of the week. I'd want to pair that with my 98 throw power quarterback, DK Metcalf. You are a Cleveland Brown. Now we're moving along. If we want to just never go super expensive at running back, but have someone that could be kind of fun, that could be Tony Pollard, who we overdrafted him slightly as far as value, 92 at 72, but he does have a dev trade, and he was the fastest running back in the class. And around the draft, we needed a punter. Don't have one on the roster. We get Jack Fox, who ends up being 23rd in true value with a dev trade. So it ends up being a star-studded draft class for the Browns. Pick 8, Quinnen Williams, 81 overall, number 1 talent player in the class. We get DK Metcalf, 77 with the dev trade in the second round. Our wide receiver, 1 of the future. Great compliment right now to Josh Gordon and Corey Coleman. Tony Pollard at running back will have an opportunity to maybe be our starter this year if he can beat out Boss Scott. I want Mac Wilson. Get at least someone from that real-life class from the Browns. We got Trayvon Mullen, 70 normal in the 5th round. We got EJ Speed. Thought he'd be a lot higher. He's been a tackle machine for the Colts in real life last couple of years. And we finish out with Jack Fox with a very nice 75 hidden dev to be our punter of the future. Bengals had an interesting class. Got a couple nice fits there. Devin White leading the bunch. Sean Murphy Bunting and Powers Ooh, that'd be a cool story to keep tabs on. Dwayne Haskins goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They also get Max Crosby in the 3rd round. And the Ravens, who don't need any extra help, probably have the worst class in the division. So just after midseason here in year number 2, the 2019 regular season, we're 7-4. We're turning it around a little bit. You look at our rankings offensively, outside the top 10, but we have the number 1 passing offense, the number 1 overall defense, a top 10 rushing defense. So it's like, you know, take a little bit of time. Might still not be this season, but we know the talent we have under the hood. It should eventually have this Browns team, at bare minimum, being considered a Super Bowl contender. Looking at our contracts, over $100 million. But you're going to have to be really, really good for me to be like, yeah, we're going to pay you. So even Njoku will pick up his 5th-year option, I think. But everyone else here is kind of depth. You have J.C. Treader at center. Honestly, not a brutal contract. And Wyatt Teller's not a center. I'm not going to cheese it and just be like, well, he's a lineman, I'll put him at center. He's never played center. So we'll get Treader back on a 2-year deal, just kind of kick that can down the road of having to find a successor. Buddy Calhoun's our starting nickel. I mean, it's just not that big. I don't think there's that big of a drop-off between him and, like, Duke Dawson on that rookie contract. I mean, he was an underrated nickel. I remember he was pretty decent back in the day in real life for the Browns. Agba as a pass rusher, I mean, where's his stats at? If he's thriving on the other side of Myles Garrett, he has 10 sacks right now. Ooh, because that means probably dev trait city. I think someone like that, he'll take it. 4-year, 50. Let's go, man. I think that contract's going to age incredibly well. Will that Corey Coleman walk? We have Joe Schobert at linebacker. Not brutal money, getting that cap hit under 10 for a lot of those seasons. Okay, let's go. Because we're soon to probably have Jamie Collins' contract off the books, and we're just kind of viewing at like the total cost of our linebackers. I can live with that contract. So at the end of year number 2, we scratch and claw our way to finish above 500, which is good enough to win a not great AFC North this season. Get a home playoff game out of it. Finish with a top-ranked offense, top-ranked defense. Looking at the numbers here, Josh Allen 2nd. My webcam is blocking it. DK Metcalf as a rookie is 2nd. Josh Allen 2nd in yards, 2nd in touchdowns. Interceptions are still probably going to be holding him back. Now, the good thing is he's an X factor, so it is what it is. But as far as like winning awards and stuff like that, which is always fun to do in these rebuilds, those are, you know, we got to fix that, because that probably will rear up its ugly head when we play some top teams in the playoffs. But at least like the positive offensive output for Josh Allen, very good. Very happy with where that's at. Our run game kind of just is what it is. Would honestly like to get maybe I don't want to say maybe a different playbook, but a playbook that has Josh Allen run a little bit more. But 47 touchdowns, you got to be pretty happy with that. We get our 2,000-yard receivers. DK Metcalf over 100 catches, almost 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns. We get 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns for Josh Goldman and Corey Coleman. 9 and 9, 860 and 11 from Njoku. So just pretty ridiculous passing numbers, all things considered. Schobert and Kirksey were tackle machines. We get 16 sacks from Myles Garrett, 12 from Emmanuel Ogbah, 7.5 on 17 TFLs for Quinnen Williams. Decent season out of Ogunjobi with 11 TFLs, 6 sacks. And Kirksey leads the team with 3 picks, but not brutal interception numbers either. We end up with DK Metcalf winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, Quinnen Williams winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, and Joel Bitonio winning Lineman of the Year. And all of our attention, all of Josh Allen and the Cleveland Browns' attention shifts towards the Buffalo Bills at home in the first round of the playoffs. Out of just curiosity, who's the Bills quarterback right now? In this alternative universe, they still got Tyrod. Okay. Gotta win, man. We cannot. I'm not expecting a playoff Super Bowl run. Let Josh Allen, in this universe, trump his. And he does. 25-17, not a dominant performance by any means, but good enough to get a first little smell, first little taste of playoff success. Forced 2 picks on Tyrod. Clean game from Josh. We just need Josh Allen to play clean. Interceptions are high. Kind of similar to Josh Allen in real life. Just play clean. That's all I need you to do. Josh Gordon goes over 100 yards. Love to see that. Defensively, we got 2 sacks by Ogunjobi. Our picks, Jamar Taylor and Denzel Ward. And the Browns are moving on. Now we take the show on the road here against the 10-7 Vegas Raiders, who have a very elite defense. Derek Carr's a 99 overall. Obi Melifonwu is not a bust in this scenario, and he lives up to his insane combine performance. So I'm a little worried, a little concerned how this team, this young, inexperienced team, is going to hang up on the road. And unfortunately, just a little too much, man. Denzel Ward gets 2 picks in 2 playoff games, but we're just missing. We're just missing a little bit of experience. Hey, we lost the opportunity to lose to the Chiefs. So that's fine. It was a double overtime thriller. Look at that. Damn. Oh, Nick Chubb's there. Mary Cooper versus Josh Gordon. They got Deebo Samuel. DK Metcalf. Sacks, fairly evenly split. Turnovers, fairly evenly split. Just one of those things, man. Can't be too harsh, too critical. First year of playoff success with this group. Coming off of just still that stink of 0-16. A double overtime loss to go to the AFC Championship game. You can live with that. We'll be back better, bigger, stronger, faster next year. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get Joe Thomas's ring as he retires after 13 seasons. But hey, at least we got him a playoff win. But with that retirement, probably need to consider offensive tackle as a top priority in this upcoming class. Joel Bitonio makes the jump from star to superstar after winning Lineman of the Year. David Njoku is now a superstar. DK Metcalf, I don't think he was an X factor out the gate. He wasn't. He got it for winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, so that is badass. You almost wonder if that's the same kind of deal with Quinnen Williams. Josh Gordon keeps his superstar. Josh Allen, an X factor. Tony Pollard, only a star dev. And on the defensive side of the ball, Ogunjobi from star up to superstar. Quinnen Williams, only a superstar. Really? I mean, he did get 12K XP, but no dev traits. It's a little harsh. And while we did gain superstar dev on Kirksey, superstar dev on Justin Reed, nothing for Agba. Double-digit sacks. Thought I got ahead of that with the contract extension. I feel like he got robbed a little bit, but ultimately we got a lot of dev traits on both sides of the ball. I'm not going to get too greedy. Plus, I think at this price point, probably not a brutal idea to pick up the 5th-year option for Njoku just because, again, the stability of our salary cap is uncertain, 2-3 years down the line. So I think one more year, just on 14, if we get him in a contract extension, it's likely going to be that anyways. And we'll just see, maybe more so if we can justify paying David Njoku what he's likely worth. But he's been playing really damn good. He's been putting up big-time tight end numbers. So I think in a world where we can make it financially work, we'll try our best to do so. And unless it's a perfect free agent, this is a much better free agent class than last year. Unless it's perfect, I think we have to solely focus on keeping the names on our roster from hitting free agency versus spending on the open market. Take a look at the 2020 draft, final mock draft. They got Joe Burrow. Wow, going to the Colts. Now, this draft for the Browns this season it wasn't brutal, but it also wasn't the best. Jedrick Wills was the pick of the first round. That didn't work out. They got Grant Delpit in the second round. That's kind of turned around a little bit. Donovan Peoples-Jones in the 6th round. I mean, I feel like on value, on name value, they got Harrison Bryant, who was the Mackey winner, the top tight end in college football. They got him in the 4th round. You felt probably pretty good about this class on paper at the time for the Browns. It just didn't age particularly well. Where we're selecting way down here at 25, I'll tell you right now, with Joe Thomas retiring, if Tristan Wirfs is there at 25, we will run that pickup to the podium. Oh, please let Tristan Wirfs still be there. Oh, he goes to the Bills. Oh, of course. Can't even get Jedrick Wills. He went 17 to the Cardinals. Let's be honest. If we would have got Wirfs, there's a chance Wirfs is probably a top 5 player, true talent in this class. Well, looking at what we got here, we could just say screw it. Look at all the first-round talent running backs. Should we just get Jonathan Taylor and just be let's see if a high-level running back will trump our playbook and we can have 1,000+ yard rush. See, but I'm just skeptical that it's just we know this team. Oh, we got what's that guy's name? I don't know his name. And yeah, damn, he's in wrestling now. Scott Steiner's nephew. That's cool. We got T. Higgins at wide receiver. I mean, again, Josh Gordon's not getting any younger. Tackle is really the position you'd want to go, and the board just did not fall that way. You have Isaiah Wilson, who might honestly take pound for pound over Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell because he was quarterback and where he got drafted, but as far as just first-round picks that did absolutely nothing, Isaiah Wilson certainly needs to be up there. But unfortunately for us, I'm not really Robert Hunt's probably best lineman available. doesn't play tackle. Cesar Ruiz, probably not bad. Never really played tackle. I mean, we could go Jackson here. Damn. Christian Wirfs should have been here. So if we don't want to go tackle, which I'll say right now, Austin Jackson's kind of leading the pool. I'm not going to go running back. I just don't think there's any way we ever value one, even if there's a good one there. Corner. Corner would probably be the secondary. Corner linebacker. Just to double check what the board says. So like off-ball linebacker, that's not... I have yet to fully update this class. This is the first class that I've been, for the 20-year rebuilds, kind of just smoothing over, the edges of some of these historical classes. I have yet to get to this 2021, because obviously we'll make Zach Bond probably a little bit better than what he would be default right now. Logan Wilson is there at linebacker. Brooks. Oh, what? See, again, I didn't touch this class. I'm a Cowboy hater. 0% chance Trevon Diggs is 66 in true value. He's absolutely at least a top 32 player in this class. 0 chance he's normal dev as well. God damn it. Okay, second round. Logan Wilson still on the board. Likely BPA. I want to get younger at linebacker. Let's see if he sucks. Or if he's somewhat in line with real life. And here we go. That's better. 28 in true value, 57. Still no dev trait, which is probably a little harsh. So then in our draft recap, end up with, I thought Cam Curl will be a lot better than what it was in the 7th round. But we end up, hey, let's appreciate the first picks. Not one dev trait, which kind of sucks. But Diggs, 71. Logan Wilson, 74. Should be able to develop them into starters. Okay, Bengals just had an all-time class, getting Derek Brown and Jonathan Taylor. Oh, okay, cool. Steelers get Justin Jefferson and Cam Akers. Ravens also kind of killed it, and Andrew Thomas, so they got a franchise tackle and get Xavier McKinney. So we firmly had the worst class this season. Damn. Mid-season of the 2020 season, year 3 of this rebuild, we are 4-2. However, for some reason, our offense has plummeted from a passing offense standpoint. Defense still playing at a pretty high level, so I'm happy there. Little weirded out that the offense is struggling. Is the loss of Joe Thomas that significant? Yeah, probably. $132 million. We've been preparing for this. We have Jamie Collins. He's phased himself out. A little bit older. Jabril Peppers, safety. You got to justify your contract. Josh Gordon, Ogunjobi, Myles Garrett. We pay Myles Garrett first. 5-year, $208 million. Don't worry about it. That one has to get done. I feel like in the case of Ogunjobi, he's played well, but we got Quentin Williams to kind of lead the line there. That's just too much money to have invested on the defensive line. Josh Gordon at wide receiver. Oh, those years. 4. There's no way. He's going to be at the end of that contract like a 73. I think Peppers is pretty good value at that number. But like 20+ mil a year for Ogunjobi. He's earned it. And I really wish there's a way, like 2 years. Like, can I go... What would be the most? I'd say 13 salary and 11.5. That'd be the most. Come on, Josh. Come on. Let's finish this thing. I was a Brown. Give me the rest of your prime. I might come back next week a little more. Maybe we round those numbers up again. Let's go. 2 years. Josh Gordon, $51 million. 1,000-yard receiver. Craps out 1,000-yard seasons. So our team wakes up, puts it into gear. We finish year number 3 of the 2020 regular season with a 12-5 record. Our second straight AFC North title. Our offense figured it out. Number 2 in points scored. Number 1 in passing. Top 10 defense. I can live with that. 2 straight wins, beating the Chiefs. And then we get a nice win there over the Raiders with a Josh Allen 4-touchdown, 300-yard performance, getting player of the week to enter the postseason with as much momentum as you possibly can in an absolute bloodbath wildcard matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. Look at our stats. Josh Allen, number 1 in yards and touchdowns, and he only had 2 picks. I changed nothing. He went from, 20, pretty much at 20 picks a season So we're probably going to be losing our offensive coordinator regardless of what happens. 2 interceptions for Josh Allen. He has got to be MVP. Throwing in fact, he got another 8 rushing touchdowns. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. We have 3,000-yard receivers. MVS goes over 1,000 with 11 touchdowns. DK over 1,000. And then Josh Gordon, 12 and 19. That is why you find a way to pay him. And the argument here in Njoku for not picking up the long-term extension and just the option, it's like, I don't know if we need to pay the tight end in this offense. Defensively, Kirksey and Schobert. Good tackles. Kirksey with 4 picks. We get 10.5 sacks, Myles Garrett, 10.5 Ogunjobi, 9 from Quinnen Williams, 8 from Ogba. It would be cool. We all know, we've seen in Maddens of past that Myles Garrett can sometimes be that guy that flirts with 20-plus sacks a season. Haven't quite seen that. And our interceptions were not spread out at all. 5 picks, Justin Reed, which is sick. 3 from Denzel Ward. Cool. And easily, undeniably, Josh Allen is your NFL MVP. He also ends up winning Offensive Player of the Year and Quarterback of the Year, but he is our only award winner. This playoff run got a whole lot more interesting knowing that we have the reigning defending MVP. If we lose, it better be in a shootout. We better not have an underperforming offense. An offense that struggles to get over 20 points. And look at that defensive performance. Pitches a shutout, 27-0. Quinnen Williams, 3 tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries. An incredibly dominant performance from the Cleveland Browns in that one. Let's see the offense, though. Is Josh, do we have in the scene a sneak preview here that if Josh Allen can carry this team to a Super Bowl? That's kind of my word. Now, the defense, that is sick. Wow, I mean, the Steelers drafted them. Steelers ended up trading Mason Rudolph to the Ravens. What is going on there? Anyways, Josh Allen played well. MVS leading receivers, a little weird to see. Ogunjobi, man, that's going to be annoying to lose him. We just need Quinnen Williams to step up, but getting 5.5 sacks from your D tackle, pretty badass. So with that win, we're on to the next round, and there's no Chiefs in sight. This could be a great year. We have the 12-5 LA Chargers. We'll auto upgrade our players just because. Want to make sure they're in the best chance, and we got Brian O'Neill, a starter. He's ready to get a couple more pancakes, but this is a very old school and effective Chargers. They can run the football and have an elite defense led by Joey Bosa. But we have an unstoppable quarterback, and the Browns are in the AFC Championship game. 31-17, and it is Ogunjobi who has 6 sacks. Oh, no. Oh, the price is going up. I still don't think we can pay him. I think we just need to enjoy it and hopefully win this year. Oh, man. What a freaking dominating performance. Josh Allen, again, we're not winning because of Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback there. Tony P with 2 touchdowns. MVS is killing it for some reason. Trayvon Diggs, the rookie, leads the team in tackles. This is kind of like the Philadelphia Eagles. The year that we just knew. Philly knew. We knew this whole playoff run that Josh Sweat and Milton Williams are going to go. And what did Josh Sweat and Milton Williams do? They were just our best freaking defensive players during the playoffs. Kind of getting those vibes here. As now we are a win away in year 3 from being 0-16. Now, obviously, we had the hindsight. We were able to dominate the draft. But in this alternate universe, all these picks could have been made by the Cleveland. Not one of these picks that we've made would have been impossible. We got DK Metcalf in the second round. That's where he went. You know what I'm saying? Everyone else, maybe Quinnen Williams fell a little bit later than he should have. But this is all, in an alternate universe, an entirely plausible Browns team. And we have a chance. We have the 10-7 Jags, they're not bad. Leonard Fournette is an animal in this world. They have one of the best rush defense, but we don't run the football. Their weakness is Pat. Like, everything about this tale of the tape says we should comfortably be making the Super Bowl here. But it's not played on tape, it's played on grass. We fucking lost. God damn it. We lost when we had both players of the week. 400 yards by Josh Allen. How? Explain yourself, game. This is no Chiefs in sight. This is such a failed opportunity by this Browns team. Overtime. Fucking second straight overtime playoff loss. Like Bortles, no. Dude, Josh Gordon, MV, like how, like in just no way should we have lost this game. It's like, all right, two best receivers by a long shot. They had more run, but they had more rush yards, but it wasn't like they had a bunch of rushing touchdowns. How the running back fumbled and turned it over. Our quarterback, you know? And then you look at the defense. We had all the sacks. Turnovers were tied. Like, just a unexcusable loss. At least they lost. Shout out, hey, happy for Jameis Winston. Good for him. And take a look at our roster. We now have Josh Gordon as an X factor. DK Metcalf, Josh Allen, like, we're going to be able to run it back. We're not losing a single starter on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, however, Larry Ogunjobi was so freaking good, and he going to be gone. Just Reed up to an X factor, which is nice. Emmanuel Ogbah got off his normal dev trait, but we need, honestly, the biggest change is going to be we need Quinnen Williams to play like freaking a 95 superstar player and pick out the production we're about to lose and drop off. But now, we may still try to prioritize a defensive tackle in this upcoming draft, but they're probably not going to be anywhere near as productive as Ogunjobi's been. So for this situation, we are going to decline the fifth-year option on Josh Allen, just get ahead of that contract. We're going to accept it on Denzel Ward so we don't have to just fork out all that money in the same window. But man, oh man, that would have been nice. But we gotta figure it out. Get a little gander at the 2021 draft. This was a really good draft class for the Cleveland Browns. First round, they got Greg Newsome, who's been good. I think people would say maybe not elite, but for like a late first round pick, he's been a really solid corner for them. They got JOK in the second round, Owusu Koromoa, who's an absolute beast. Rest of the draft was, you know, maybe a little hit or miss. They got Anthony Schwartz in the third round, drafted height, weight, speed. It didn't necessarily pan out. Looking at where we are at here, looks like Jamar Chase to the Bengals. That's annoying. What about us? What about the good guys? Greg Newsome, we're not even going to have an opportunity. He's going 15th to the Falcons, very likely. Can't say 100% because sometimes this lies to you. We got Kelvin Joseph at 29. I mean, we need D tackle. Is there any good ones in the class? Well, we'll find out if anything's going to be available to us at pick number 29. So at pick 29, our two needs, D tackle and offensive tackle. Still, we're unable to get Joe Thomas' replacement last year. And we got Tevin Jenkins. I could probably live with that. Again, these ratings are going to be, who knows, an absolute wild, wild west of ratings. Defensively, looking for just a straight-up D tackle. We have Christian Barmore. Milton Williams is there. Barmore's not bad either. JOK is still there. That'd be a fun player. Maybe in this, we'd have to probably get him now if we wanted him. We just don't need it. Our linebackers are on point. Let's go D tackle. Wait, what's Milton? No, we'll go D tackle because that Milton Williams is probably not anywhere near the same Milton Williams that's in real life. Number 29 and Barmore. There we go. Can you get us 3 sacks a game for a whole playoff run? Because that's what we need you to do. Oh, yeah, baby. Fans of the Panthers franchise, I need a tackle. We got Brad Christmason. Boom. Oh, yeah. Let's go, baby. So I'm pretty, content with the class. We get Terrace Marshall, 70 normal in the third round. Kylan Granson in the fourth round. But for the most part, this class is a one-player class. In Barmore at pick 29, 70 through the dev trait. He will be a day one starter for us at defensive tackle. Man, come on, Brad Christmason. 66. Okay, cool. Jamar Chase. So we have Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in the division. We're dealing with that. Steelers have a modest class. Nothing too crazy. And Ravens got themselves a new quarterback. So to start year 4 of this rebuild with the reigning defending NFL MVP, I do think like sky's the limit this year. 12-5 AFC North champs, 2 straight years. We got to make that 3. I think this could be a 13-14 win team to top our record. Offensively, yeah, we're missing a tackle, but everywhere else should be able to overcompensate, I think, for that one weakness. Defensively, we have a complete defense across the board. The D-line looks solid. Barmore, obviously, is a steep regression from what we had in Ogunjobi, but this is going to be the year that, hey, Quinnen Williams and Myles Garrett, they got to step up. They got to prove their worth, their merit. Denzel Ward's dog. Linebacker core feel good. But cool to see maybe Logan Wilson get a dev trait. You know, safeties are on point. Cool to see Trayvon Diggs, what he can do, make the most of his opportunities starting on the outside this season. But point blank period, this is absolutely a team that needs to be considered a Super Bowl contender. And let's see if Josh Allen can put up another 50-plus touchdown, sub-3 turnover season. And a mid-season, no worse at all. We are an undefeated, perfect 7-0. Number 1 offense, number 2 offense, number 1 defense. And we're just absolutely crushing it. Now, perfect season on the table or not would be pretty awesome. In a video that you're going for a team that had a winless season to potentially have a perfect season would be pretty badass. But this is a turning point in this video as we have to just blank check it and he still doesn't take it. What? All right, we'll just go to the next week. We win big. Josh Gordon goes nuclear. Love to see that. But what was wrong with $497 million? Round it up. Is that enough? 501? What do you mean? Player friendly takes this to 571. So with that, we have okay. Well, fact of the matter is, Justin Reed, I mean, coming off 5 picks, he could justify a contract extension. 78. No, of course he wants to fucking bend us. Oh, God damn it! Okay, I didn't sign anybody. We're gonna wait and see, big picture, because you got to justify your contract at this point. We go 15-2, so we did slip up. Be interested to see who the 2 were. The Ravens and the Steelers. So, I don't know. I feel like that might sting a little less if they weren't 2 teams that were within our division. But, okay, just ups the rivalry a little bit. We're the 1 seed. We win the AFC North for the 3rd straight season. Josh Allen, 49 touchdowns, 10 picks, 4,900 yards. Also threw another 4 on the ground, so might be back-to-back MVP. Josh Gordon, Jesus, 18, almost 1,900 yards on well over 100 catches, 22 touchdowns, 8-8 for Njoku, 8-6 for MVS, 8-7 for DK. So, I mean, I don't know, might have loved to share the love a little bit more and had DK go over 1,000 because he's an X factor. That could be dev trait regression territory. Defensively, Schobert over 100 tackles. There we go. That's what we need to see out of Myles Garrett. 19.5 sacks. We needed people to step up with no more Ogunjobi, and we got exactly that. 10 sacks, Quentin Williams, 10 from Emmanuel Ogbah. She has nothing from Barmore, but he did give us some good run reps with 17 TFLs. 4 picks, Trayvon Diggs made the most of his opportunity starting the outside. That could get him off that normal dev trait, which would be pretty cool. And it is back-to-back NFL MVPs for Josh Allen. We also have Josh Gordon, who gets Offensive Player of the Year and Wide Receiver of the Year. Josh Allen gets Quarterback of the Year. And we have D-Lineman of the Year going to Myles Garrett. So our team somehow is even better this year than we were last year. First round of the playoffs, I was kind of hoping we would see someone from the division. Steelers made the playoffs. Bengals went 1-16 somehow. But we get the Jets in the first round. 10-7 Jets. They got Vita Vea, who is a player that we thought about getting. They have a top 10 offense. Really good. But look at the matchup. They were one of the worst passing defenses in the league. It should work out in our favor. And it does. 35-21 to the good guys. In a game where, you know, the matchup. We should have been, and we didn't even really throw it all over them. 290 yards and a touchdown for Josh Allen. Tony P was solid. You know, we got the Scots doing some work there. DK Metcalf said, okay, I know I didn't get 1,000 yards this year, but I'll give you $120 in the playoffs. And on the defensive side of the ball, look at all those plays beyond the line of scrimmage. 11 TFLs, 2 sacks, Trayvon Mullen with the pick. We're feeling good. Next up in the AFC Championship game, we get the Vegas Raiders. 10-7, very good. Top 10 offense, run the football as good as anybody with Chubb. I want to take a look here, though, because the Raiders have gone on playoff runs already in this video. So they have, like, a really good team. They're one of the best teams in the AFC. How? How, where, what, why? They have Derek Carr, who's a 99 X factor. Chubb's a 92. Got Amari Cooper and Deebo Samuel at wide receiver. Okay, the O-lineman, like, what the fuck? David Sharp. I'm a Gators fan. There's no chance. David Sharp's a 91 superstar. Assembly, Hudson, Gabe Jackson. They got Sewell at right tackle, so the O-line's elite. The D-line, they got Fowler, Edwards, Eddie Vanderos, 99, Khalil Mack. Secondary, 91, Garyon Conley. There's a name I haven't heard in a very long time. Emerson has a superstar. Melifon, who's an extra. Okay, I mean, it's a legit contender right there. Let's make sure we're the best team. Prove we're the best team. And be very appreciative there's no Chiefs. And we do win this one. Let's go. Super Bowl, year 4. Can't get too hyped because we have the best player in the game in Josh Allen right now. But both offensive and defensive player of the week, like we had last year. But we lost last year in overtime. This year, maybe even fitting if we do win in overtime, which is kind of possible. But it's not. We had that game in hand. Only 3 points scored, so that's outstanding effort from the defense. 266, 2 touchdowns from Josh Allen. Our run game kind of just is what it is. DK Metcalf, 78 yards and a touchdown, but the big 3 there all contributed nicely. Defensively, Myles Garrett, 7 tackles and a sack. 2 sacks and a TFL from Quinnen Williams, so we needed someone to pick up that Larry Ogunjobi playoff production, and we're getting that out of Quinnen Williams. And the Browns, 4 years removed from 0-16, are in the Super Bowl. And we end up against the 12-5 Seattle Seahawks, who actually have a more explosive offense than we do. Russell Wilson is still there. Let's take a look. What do you guys got going on under the hood? They look pretty damn good. Russell Wilson, 98 X Factor. Okay. Aaron Jones, Scary Terry, Tyler Lockett, Doug Baldwin. This is our alternate universe DK Metcalf revenge game. Dawson Knox, 88. 89, 85, 92, 88, 89. Couple very surprising lineman ratings there, but it is what it is. Defensively, they got Frank Clark, 88, Jerron Reed, 93 superstar. Malik McDowell in this universe was not a first-round bust. Linebacker Corey, Bobby Wagner, 97 X Factor. We got Shaq Griffin, 99 X Factor. Justin Coleman's there. Earl Thomas, 92 super. Okay, I mean, good. To a man, though, I think we have a stronger team on paper. Let us put up or shut up time. It's only year 4, so I don't need to hop in on the sticks or anything like that. We got to see if this team can do it. We're not in desperation mode, even though with the contract that we just hit out to Josh Allen, it'd be pretty cool to not have to necessarily deal with the fallout of paying a quarterback that much money. But we got Russell Wilson. We got a team that has won a Super Bowl. They have the experience edge. But I just think if our offense plays to the level that they did in the regular season, I'm not saying a comfortable win, but I'm saying a win. I ain't seen Russell Wilson going for almost 50 touchdowns a year, right? So we go to halftime. A lot of field goals for Seattle. Our defense, I mean, this is Browns getting touchdowns, Seahawks settling for field goals. So I just say that and kind of jinx it. They're going for it on 4th down. They're just like, what, checking down, playing check down? Okay, look, we got this one in the bag here. Let's hop in, see if we can get maybe something magical downfield. Boom. Josh Gordon and or DK Metcalf. I'm fine with either one. Gordon in the slot, DK on the outside. Josh Allen under center. Oh, we got DK all day. Let's go, baby. And the Cleveland Browns, 4 years removed from 0-16. Now we had, granted, God drafts. It is what it is. And you guys decided actually how we started this rebuild with the most important piece and draft pick. Because I was fine if people were like, hey, can we get a what if the Browns actually, stuck with Baker Mayfield? Because the Baker Mayfield that we know going to the Bucks is, franchise quarterback. Like, it could have worked out. But you guys wanted to see Josh Allen. I gave you Josh Allen, and it worked out very well. 2-time back-to-back MVPs. Wins the Super Bowl, likely Super Bowl MVP. And the Cleveland Browns, once 0-16, 4 years in, 330 yards, 4 touchdowns. Josh Allen, the Browns, are Super Bowl champions. So what we've been able to accomplish within this 4-year period. Now, players that existed before this rebuild started, their stats will probably be skewed a little bit, so you can really focus on the guys that we drafted. Josh Allen has 2 MVPs, a Super Bowl MVP, 18,000 yards, 168 touchdowns and 52 picks. Had struggles with interceptions early on. First 2 years, not good, but much like Josh Allen in real life, eventually figured it out. That's kind of cool. I mean, our run game was non-existent. Another 17 touchdowns there for Josh Allen. Josh Gordon's numbers, again, because he existed before the rebuild started, he can't necessarily hold that line, but he was awesome. That was sick that we actually got to kind of do a little what if Josh Gordon was on the straight and narrow. 3,500 yards, 33 touchdowns for Njoku, 3,300 yards, 24 touchdowns for DK Metcalf. Not too bad at all. Even MVS was a productive player for us. On the defensive side of the ball, we got 55 sacks on 73 TFLs for Myles Garrett. So maybe a little off the pace of where he was in real life, but overall happy with the numbers there. 39.5 sacks from Ogba, 26.5 from Quinnen Williams, and we got 10 picks. Kirksey, Reed, 8 from Denzel Ward. So nothing too crazy. And really, Josh Gordon's one breakout year, and Josh Allen are kind of putting up the video game numbers in this rebuild. So that would do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this rebuild of the 0-16 Cleveland Browns. I saw and was looking through all the comments on the last rebuild of the 0-16 Detroit Lions, and I saw some shout-outs say, hey, C4, there was a 1-15 Dolphins team that might be even more difficult. So I think we will try that one for our next kind of, this theme rebuild. But if there's any other singular season team that was between the years of 2002 and 2024 that you think would be worth an interesting starting point and rebuild, maybe a team that just has maybe not been 0-16 or one win, but like just terrible bust after bust after bust, that you'd like to see maybe a little bit of a revival going through the history and recreating their history as a franchise, let me know in the comment section below. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed, and until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out, love ya, have a good one.